What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So now that we got all the off-season rebuilds up to date, of course there'll be 4 more to do, but that's just a matter of when teams are eliminated again. We are back with the prospect draft lottery rebuilds here at pick number 5. And as we know, the Detroit Pistons fell from 1 to 5 once again, so here we are at the 5th overall pick with the Pistons. I asked you guys yesterday, who you guys think the Pistons will draft? I gave 3 options who I thought they could draft here, and you guys voted for Buzelis by a landslide. So with that all being said, we're going to jump into a Buzelis Detroit Pistons rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Of course, as always, these videos start with the coaching staff, but I actually went ahead and filled it out already, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Mike Williams is still the head coach. Of course, they paid him a lot of money, so he remains the head coach. But now it's time to just focus on what this Pistons team truly needs to get better. I think they're tired of being one of the worst teams in the league. I definitely expect a little bit of an aggressive approach to Detroit this offseason. Like I said, we're going to have the 5th overall pick. We're going to be selecting Buzelis. I think the biggest problem with this team, and I think we can all agree to this, is shooting is definitely an issue for this team. That's something they'll be looking at this offseason. Cade Cunningham's a 35% three-point shooter as far as last year's concerned. Jalen Duren, of course, isn't really much of a shooter. Jaden Ivey, not much of a shooter. Sarr's not much of a shooter. So, like, they're starting 5, not a lot of spacing, so that's definitely a problem, which is why we need to fix that this offseason, get some shooting in here, which is why I thought Reed Shepherd would be a potentially good pick for them at number 5, but you guys voted for Buzelis, so we will go ahead and go with the people. So number 5 overall, like I said, we'll be selecting Buzelis, and we got to figure out what we're going to do after that. Do we have another pick outside of 5? I have a couple second rounders, but other than that, nothing crazy. So let's jump in and see how the draft board goes. So 1 goes Alex R, of course. Isaiah Collier, wow, goes to the Wizards. That's a surprise. Number 2, Reed Shepherd. So I guess if we wanted him, we wouldn't have gotten him anyway. Spurs select Rob Dillingham, I assume. No, wow, they took the guy we were going to take. That's crazy. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to select, I guess we could select Toppich or Dillingham. It doesn't matter either way. I guess we'll select Dillingham here, and I will trade that with the Spurs for today's video, of course, because we need Buzelis. We already did a Dillingham video already, so let's see if we can get in the second round. So I do like the idea of Deron Holmes. Definitely like getting him late in this draft. And then we can go with 54. We can take a Jinsa, I guess. So we'll take him out of France, and that will be our draft. So, of course, it says we get Dillingham. Of course, I'm not keeping him. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and trade with the Spurs to get Buzelis on this team. And then we'll figure out what we're doing after that. Today's video is brought to you by DGF's Optimizer. If you play on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any other DFS app, having a tool like this is so clutch, finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research whatsoever. So, for example, how it works is you get on the board and you take a look at what it's showing you. So you might be looking at this and thinking, what does this even mean? Well, basically, it's showing you the juice on each sports book. So as you can see, there's a bunch of sports books listed. They even have some of the other DFS apps listed as well. But basically, if you come down, you got Paul Skeens under 4.5 hits allowed. Every single book is favoring the under. And then for Derek Jones, under 3.5 rebounds. As you can see, every single book is favoring the under. You come down to Halliburton, under 4.5 rebounds. Every single book is favoring the under. It's showing the juice, and all the juice is showing you that the books are taking the bets, and they're saying, okay, this guy is more likely to go under 4.5 rebounds, which is why we get a better odds on PrizePicks, because PrizePicks is a fixed payout platform. So I've really loved this tool ever since I started using it. I've been a much popular sports bettor. Make sure to check it out. Link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables, 25% off your first month. And like I said, I use it on apps such as PrizePicks. PrizePicks has all kinds of options to choose from. The way it works is you choose between 2 to 6 players, and the possibilities are endless. You could pick on WNBA. You can mix it with hockey if you really wanted to. You can go to NBA. You can go Halliburton. You can go to MLB, NHL, soccer, esports. The possibilities are truly endless over here on PrizePicks. Make sure to check out PrizePicks and DGF. Both links are down in the description below. On DGF, if you use code Crushables, you get 25% off your first month. On PrizePicks, if you use code Crushables, they match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So with that being said, make sure to check those out. Let's get back to the video. So now that Buzelis is on the team, which is a great feeling, Buzelis definitely doesn't have the best three-point shot either. So we once again add some more shooting problems. So we definitely have to get shooters here. No doubt in my mind, we have to get some shooting on this team, or this team is not going to work. So let's go to player options, though. For whatever reason, 2K always wants to just decline Jalen Duren. I have no idea why. Why would the Pistons ever do that? It makes literally no sense. Now, Jaden Ivey's fit is interesting. I think there are some people that are ready to give up on him in Detroit, saying his fit might not be as good. He was in and out of the starting 5 last year. He came off the bench when the when the year started for Killian Hayes. Which is not a good look. If you're Jaden Ivey, you were the 4th overall pick, and you're coming off the bench for a guy like Killian Hayes. It's kind of weird. So we do have free agency, which I do expect the Pistons potentially use it. But I do like my Cade Cunningham and Sasser point guard rotation. That's fine. Ivy and Quentin Grimes. I think Quentin Grimes wouldn't be a bad, starting shooting guard going forward if we decided to move on from Jaden Ivey for some reason. Now, while I think Jaden Ivey is great in Ivy was the 5th overall pick, my fault. Well, I think Jaden Ivey is great in 2K. There is a potential we could move him just because, like, we don't love his fit long term. And I think people have already kind of been talking about that. So maybe we look into that. And it would be different because I don't ever trade Jaden Ivey in Pistons videos. So maybe we look into that. Asar Thompson, of course, I do want him to be our starting 3 going forward. But again, shooting is a problem with him as well. And then adding Montes Buzelis does not help either. Although it gives him an 3-point shot. I believe in real life he's not the greatest shooter. So Jalen Duren, also not a shooter. So yeah, like I said, this lineup is just not built with shooting, which is why we need to fix it. Unless these guys just develop, some shot or 3-point shots, then it wouldn't be a problem. But I think for one, I definitely don't want to start Isaiah Stewart anymore. I guess we might as well just hand the keys to Montes Buzelis. So maybe we trade Isaiah Stewart this offseason and see what we can get for him. Maybe we could start there. That way, Montes Buzelis could start at the 4, and then Jalen Duren will be our starting center still. So since Buzelis is the title of the video, I do want to develop him as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with maybe an Isaiah Stewart trade, and then we'll use our money in cap space to probably go get a shooter in free agency. So as weird as this trade would be, and trust me, I'm not just going to do this straight up, I actually think this could be a good idea. Duncan Robinson is the definition of a good 3-point shooter. We get off Stewart's contract entirely. I really don't know how Pistons fans feel about Isaiah Stewart, but I definitely think he's making a little bit more money than he should. But maybe disagree with that. I have no idea. I'm going to try to get Duncan Robinson, though. What I'm going to do, though, since I do want to have cap space still, I'm going to include $4 million to basically match that $19 million. And then I want to try to... man, they don't have a first-round pick to trade away. Never mind, we're not doing this. I wanted to get a first for them if I could, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So outside of that, there was really nothing else that kind of popped out to me. So maybe we're keeping Isaiah Stewart, which I guess is fine. But yeah, none of these really popped out to me as far as realism or someone who I'd want to bring in at the moment. So yeah, Robinson and a first would have been something I would have considered, but probably won't do that anymore. So I guess where we're going to start is just maybe some bench shooting, I guess, at this point. So let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the best 3-pointer shooters money could buy right now. So you have Grayson Allen, who of course is actually locked up long term, just hasn't showed in 2K. You have Buddy Hield, Paul George, Doug McDermott, Malik Beasley, Matt Ryan. None of these guys really that quickly. D'Angelo Russell, Obi Toppin, Trey Jones, Damian Lee, Gilliard. What else do we got? LeBron James, of course, Tyrese Maxey, Harden. Gary Trent wouldn't be too bad. What did he do last year? 39% from 3. That wouldn't be a bad addition at all. Patrick Williams, of course, is always a really good shooter in 2K2. Haywood Highsmith, Torian Prince. So yeah, I think, like I said, as long as we accomplish getting some shooting in the building, that's all that truly matters. Malik Monk is also interesting. Only shot 35% last year, though, so a little concerning there. But definitely the kind of definition of the guy we're looking for. I think his fit with Cade Cunningham long-term would not be bad at all. So I actually don't mind throwing some money at Malik Monk, who's only asking for like $16 million. I did see a report the other day that maybe he could command up to $25 million, which would be pretty crazy. But let's say we gave him like $18 million. I actually think Malik Monk would be a great fit going forward with Cade Cunningham. So I'm going to sign Malik Monk to a contract. So we're going to start there. We're going to offer Malik Monk a contract. We are going to go ahead and offer probably... I said Gary Trent would be interesting, but since we're getting Malik Monk, I guess Gary Trent's not necessary. I wonder if I could throw a bag at Patrick Williams in Chicago when it matched, just because Patrick Williams really hasn't done anything to command a contract, but I know how good he is in 2K shooting-wise. So if I could send him a contract as well in Detroit, or not Detroit, but Chicago when it match it, I definitely think that's a decent idea. So I'm going to try that. Maybe they match it, though, but at least we're going to try. So we're going to try to get Malik Monk and Patrick Williams in free agency to solve some of our shooting woes. And so far, so good. We're going to get both of them, which I think is definitely helpful to our, our shooting problem. So, love that so far for us. Isaiah Hartenstein would be a really good backup 5 to get, but I wonder if I can get a center who can shoot. Maybe the solution is just to move Isaiah Stewart to center. Maybe we just do that. I know he's, playing power forward most of the time, but maybe we just move Isaiah Stewart to center because the man can shoot, as we know, a little bit. So, Cade Cunningham, Sasser, Malik Monk, Ivy, Grimes for now. You got Asar Thompson, Troy Brown, Montes Buzelis, Patrick Williams, and then Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. So, do we want to move one of these guys to the 3? No, we don't want to do that. So, I still wonder about Jaden Ivey's long-term fit. Do we want to trade him away, give up on him, or do we want to keep him? We do have money to still sign someone. I know Tobias Harris has been in rumors about Detroit potentially signing him, but I don't want to do that today, unfortunately. Other than that, don't know if I'll be doing much else. We could sign another shooter, maybe. So maybe we should do that. So we do need a backup small forward. So let's do that. So let's sign a backup 3. And let's see where that could come from. So we have Simone, who is actually here in Detroit, and definitely probably somebody we should be looking to bring back. So I'm actually just going to go ahead, keep it simple, and re-sign Simone here. So we'll re-sign him, and that will be our offseason. Nothing special by any means, but I feel decent about acquiring some shooters here in Detroit. So player progression, Ivy is up to an 82, which makes it really hard to give up on him in 2K, not going to lie, just because of how much he develops in this game. Like, I know guaranteed if we keep him around, he's going to develop. So that's kind of the struggle I have with him. But regardless, we are going to try to make it maybe work this year. And then if we feel like we got to trade Jaden Ivey eventually, maybe we do so. But Malik Monk, Patrick Williams, and Simone, 3 guys we got in that shoot the ball, which is nice. And that's exactly what we needed. So let's go straight into next season. Let's take a look at this rotation is going to look like. Of course, we want to be an improved team. So proficiency is a 3.5 pace and space. And then, so do we want to be a 4-star balance? So Jaden Ivey would start at the moment. I kind of want to start Malik Monk, though, to be honest with you, just because the shooting, if you look at this lineup right now, there's not one good shooter in the starting 5, and that's still a problem, even regardless. So I'm going to move this to 7 seconds really quickly. But yeah, this team would not succeed in today's NBA, I don't think, unfortunately, which is why they're so bad, right? So 7 seconds. I'm going to move Malik Monk to the starting 5. I just think it makes a lot more sense to have him starting just because of the shooting problems. And it might not even be a bad idea to start Patrick Williams over Sar Thompson, as weird as that is to say. But you're going to need spacing. But I feel like this team is going to succeed no matter what in 2K, because that is just how 2K works. But more than likely, there is a chance we stop the deadline to make some moves here. But for now, we'll go ahead and summate year number 1 and kind of see how this team does. I'm expecting this team to be pretty good just because that's usually how it goes in 2K with young rosters, as you guys know. So we are at the trade deadline as we are 31-20 on the season. We are the first seed in the East, which is obviously very unrealistic to think the Pistons are going to go from the 15th seed to the 1st seed, but that's just how 2K works with the Pistons. They're very high on them, but I'm actually pretty ecstatic with how things are going shooting-wise. So if you take a look so far, 27, 17, and then 13.5. But if you take a look at some of the three-point shooting, take a look at it. So we got Buzelis shooting 48% from 3. Now, he's only attempting like almost 2 a game, but still, I'll take it. 45% for Patrick Williams, which is why we signed him. Only 3 attempts, but still. Cade Cunningham on 6 attempts is shooting 45% from 3, so love to see that. Stewart, 3 attempts, 42%. 42% from Malik Monk on 6 attempts, which is great. Simone, 6 attempts. Marcus Sasser, and then Ivy, of course, still struggling a little bit. 32%, not great, but it's not the worst in the world either, because you have like a Sar shooting 17%. So I do have an idea at the deadline, though. I do want to make a trade, and I think I am going to trade Jaden Ivey. I don't ever do this, which is why I think this is kind of a good mix-up, because I could keep Ivy. We'll win a championship. Easiest thing to do, right? But I do believe there is something to say that maybe Ivy and Cade Cunningham do not fit long-term, and I think if you're going to choose one or the other, you're more than likely choosing Cade. I understand if you're a Pistons fan and you don't want any part of this, but I'm going to do it just to change it up because I never do this. So here's what we're looking at. I'm looking, obviously looking to get some more shooting. That's kind of been the theme of today's video. And I'm looking at a team in particular. So there was a couple teams. So like Portland is interesting because Anthony Simons, like I feel like eventually that, Portland may be looking to, they could be open to trading him away. But I'm looking to trade Ivy in this trade. I don't think Portland would want Ivy. And Anthony is maybe not the guy I'm looking for anyway. So the other team that I found interesting was Memphis with Desmond Bane available. Now, the problem with this is, though, like if I compare this to real life, is Desmond Bane really going to be available like this? But if we just put this into 2K terms, like, yeah, he's very much available. Maybe we could get him off of Memphis right now. He's shooting 44% from 3. What more could you possibly want out of a guy like Desmond Bane? Like, that'd be fantastic. So that definitely could make sense just because 2K, they're bad. And the other option is either between Desmond Bane selling right now, they're 20-32, very, very bad, or it's between Lauri Markkanen, who's on the last of his contract. The Jazz are terrible, and I definitely think this is more realistic compared to real life. Now, the problem is, Lauri Markkanen is making $18 million. He's going to get paid, but yeah, I mean, there's not much more you could possibly want out of a big like Lauri Markkanen who could shoot the hell out of the ball, so which is why we kind of want him. So what I'm struggling with is, do I want to change it up for you guys and get Desmond Bane just because we never get him, or do I want to go the more realistic route and get Markkanen because he would be more realistic to get and probably be more available? I actually think Utah would be interested in maybe a guy like Jaden Ivey to give them, give him a shot in Utah as they're kind of on a rebuild trajectory. So as much as I think it'd be cool to get Desmond Bane because it would change it up and I don't ever get him, it does feel a little unrealistic compared to real life. Like, is Desmond Bane really going to be available like that? Now, Markkanen, on the other hand, I do believe could become available. So We are going to trade Jaden Ivey in this scenario. So we're going to throw Jaden Ivey in this trade and make this happen. So Ivy for marketing straight up, I know would possibly get it done. And I was getting cooked the other day because of the Randall trade or whatever. And, you know, we'll revisit that if Randall is traded this offseason. Maybe it doesn't happen, whatever. But I do believe marketing would have a lot more trade value than Ivy. And I think hopefully we can all agree with that, which is why I'm going to include more picks. Yes, I know in 2K I could do this straight up and they might just accept it. But if we're, you know, I try to do things based off in real life as much as possible. And I feel like if Detroit calls Utah and says, hey, I'll give you Ivy for marketing straight up, what is Utah going to say? No, they're not going to do that straight up. That makes no sense for them. They're going to want some more capital on top of that. So, which is why we're including more first. Yes, I know I could just do this straight up, but real life, based off real life, I'm okay with doing this. So 2026 unprotected, and maybe we have to throw another play in here, but it doesn't look like we have to. We want to throw, do we have anything else of interest to throw at them? Maybe, do we have a player? We can't throw a player in here. So maybe it's just 2 firsts and Ivy. I feel like that's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, that's definitely something that can make sense. So since we're such a good team now, Jaden Ivey, 2 firsts for Lord Market. And I definitely think that's a trade I could see happening in real life if this were ever to become a scenario. So we're going to send that over to them, and we're going to get Lord Market in on this team. So that's going to move Asar Thompson to the bench, unfortunately. It's just, it is what it is. I love Asar Thompson, but he can't shoot whatsoever. And spacing is such an important thing in 2K. If Jalen Duren was a shooting center, then that would change things a lot. But since he's not, which they actually still want to start Asar Thompson, but I am going to start marketing, obviously. We just brought him in, you know, paid a lot of money to get him. We are going to start Asar Thompson still. But yeah, that is what we're going to do. So now we have Lauri Markkanen as our starting small forward with Cade Cunningham, Malik Monk, Buzelis, Jalen Duren. The shooting, just like that, has gotten a hell of a lot better. We're the first seed in the East, and hopefully with Markkanen coming over, we're about to be a lot better going forward. So Shea wins MVP, Stefan's Rookie of the Year, and the Charlotte Hornets. Trey Mann, 6th man. Victor Wembanyama, Offensive Player. James Wiseman, Most Improved. And Halliburton's your Clutch Player, and Mark is your Coach of the Year. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team. Did we get like a Cade Cunningham appearance? That'd be kind of cool. Oh, we get Cade at the bottom here of All-NBA third team. 28 points per game on 7 assists. 43% shooting from 3, which is awesome. So we are the third seed in the Eastern Conference playing against a young Charlotte Hornets team. So this should be a fun series. But we had 28 from Cade, 21 from Markkanen, 17 from Malik Monk, 13 from Duren, 10.5 from Simone, and 10 from Montez Buzelis, 8 from Isaiah Stewart, 8 from Asar, and 8 from Patrick Williams. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Charlotte Hornets in round 1 to kind of take advancement going forward. So I actually went ahead and slid Montez Buzelis to small forward and moved Markkanen to power forward because both of them went up 1 overall when I did that. So somebody current round against Charlotte, and we are going to sweep them. So we're off to a good start. And now we get a 7-seed Milwaukee team. Now, the last time the Bucks and the Pistons faced down in the playoffs, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is when the Pistons had Blake Griffin, and it was not even close to a competitive series. The Bucks just absolutely killed them. So hopefully we can get some sweet revenge on a 7-seed Milwaukee team. But it is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Going to be very tough to guard, but here goes nothing. We did go down 2-0, but we won Game 3, so let's see if we can win Game 4. Now, they do want to start Asar Thompson over Buzelis, but I'm going to continue to start Montez Buzelis, so let's see if that ends up working out for us. We are looking like we're going to even this one up, and we do. So we even the series, and let's go see if we can win Game 5. This would be huge if we could. We can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in year 1. How wild would that be? If you're Detroit, you go from the 15th seed, the worst team in the NBA, to, hey, we're in the conference finals. Obviously, the odds of that happening in real life are very slim. Almost, you know, slim to none. I know Phoenix kind of took that jump a little bit from being one of the worst teams to the finals, but it doesn't happen that often, as we know. So let's go ahead and see if we can finish them off in Game 6. Do we go to a Game 7? And we are going to a Game 7. So Game 7 in Detroit. Let's see if we can come out here and win this Game 7. They get off to a good start. I mean, even if we get bounced in round 2 here, we have to be proud of how far we came. But we take the lead for a second. We are down 14, though. So it's not looking good for us unless we come on a triumphant comeback here. It looks like we're going to get bounced in Game 7 to a Milwaukee team that has Giannis and Dame. Can we be discouraged by that? No, there's no reason to be. A lot of success was made this year. Getting to the second round with this squad is a pretty good success, in my opinion. So, Milwaukee also made it all the way to the finals, but they lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right. Player retirements, LeBron James is going to call it, and let's go to the lottery. So, our pick, I believe, is going to the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. And it ends up going to, the Knicks. So, the Knicks get our pick. Jazz have number 1, so they get to add Cooper Flagg to Jaden Ivey, which is kind of cool for them. Monty Williams is our head coach still. I mean, we had much more successful years, so there's no reason to fire him. Now we could just kind of worry about, getting an assistant. So can I get like Jason Kidd to be our assistant? That'd be kind of cool. And we do get Jason Kidd W. So Jason Kidd's our assistant. Has the Dallas Mavericks up to a 1-0 lead on the Timberwolves as of yesterday. All right, so let's go to yeah, so we don't have any picks. We have a early second round pick, but I'm not really sure I'll do much about that. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do this offseason. So player options, we're going to accept all these, of course. Qualifying offers, Quentin Grimes, Cade Cunningham. Of course, we're going to resign probably both of them. Did Quentin Grimes even play for us, though, last year? He did not. So he was a DNP all season. Do we want to keep him? Yeah, I guess his depth, we probably want to keep him. Yeah, so we'll look into that. So I guess first and foremost, most obvious thing to do here is re-sign Cade Cunningham to his extension. So let's do that. So Cade Cunningham, welcome back to your extension. No brainer there. So Cade is back. W. All right. Do we want to resign Quentin Grimes is the question. I think I do. I think I do want to resign him. So I'm going to resign Quentin Grimes, even though he didn't play for us last year at all. So giving him 10 million is kind of weird, but I'm going to sign him anyway. Quentin Grimes, welcome back. And then do we want to do anything else? I mean, do we want to just trust development of this team? Because we were very close to making it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But I don't know if there's anybody outside of Cade that's going to, like, take a massive jump. Like, I don't know if Buzelis is going to take enough jump. Asar might jump up like crazy. Maybe we do start Asar next year just because of how much he's going to jump. And we'll see. I'm not signing anyone else in free agency. Let's see what player progression looks like. So Asar is up to an 85, which I kind of figured. Buzelis is up to an 81, so at least he's developing, but nothing crazy. Marketing 87, Jalen Duren 85, Marcus Sasser 81, Stewart 80. So everyone in the rotation is up and overall, which is great to see after a pretty good year. So yeah, not much movement this year. I think we're just gonna run it back and hope that it results in good things again. So that's basically what we're gonna do, and see maybe at the deadline we make a move. But for now, we're gonna run it back. Almost the same rotation. I imagine this year they're gonna force me to start Asar Thompson. Maybe I do it because we do have enough shooting in the starting five that I think it would be fine to do so. Let's take a look. Proficiency is 3.5. Can we be a 4-star anywhere? So yeah, Asar Thompson is getting the nod at the small forward spot. So I think that's fine. We're going to shrink the bench utilization down a little bit. So we'll do that. We'll go to like a 50 bench utilization. There'll be Cade, Malik Monk, Asar, Markkanen, Duren, Buzelis, Sasser, Stewart, and Patrick Williams and Quentin Grimes. I think that's fine. If I do stop at the deadline, I will show you guys. Other than that, I will see y'all at the end of year number 2. So at the end of year 2, Shea wins MVP. Cooper Flagg rookie of the year on the Lakers. Interesting. So the Jazz didn't take Cooper Flagg. Very weird. Miles Turner, 6th man. Wembanyama, defensive player. And Scotty Barnes, most improved. And LaMelo, clutch player. And Monty Williams, coach of the year. As we went 62-20. So yeah, things are going fairly well for this team. Cade, does he make an all-NBA team this year? He does not. All defensive first team and all defensive second team. We do get Asar making all defensive second team. So yeah, if Asar Thompson making all defensive teams, there's really not much we could do to keep him out of the lineup. Maybe he's our Draymond Green-esque player. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I could be pretty happy with that, with those results. But taking a look at the rotation, or player stats, I should say. We had 23 from Cade, 16 from Markkanen, 15 from Malik Monk, and 15 from Buzelis, 13 from Jalen Duren, 12 from Sasser, which is great to all-around see. So Buzelis shooting 44% from 3, making 2 a game on 4.5 attempts, so that's W to see. Malik Monk, 41% still, 39, 40. So yeah, we have fixed the shooting problem and then some, which is great. So love to see that came full circle. And now we can go ahead and see if we can have some success in the playoffs. So we get Orlando early on. They have OG Anunoby instead of, or no, they have Franz Wagner still as well. But they have OG. Still really haven't solved their point guard problem. They lost Suggs, it looks like. I guess they got a pretty good defender in return in OG. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I do believe we should be able to beat this team. I guess we're going to go 9-man rotation in these playoffs and see if we can take care of Orlando early on. So we are going to beat them in 6. Okay, so now we get Philadelphia in round 2. We got Kevin Porter Jr., Maxey, Grayson Allen, Harris Embiid, Miles Bridges, Paul Reed, Jose Alvarado, and Caleb Martin. So, of course, Embiid is always a problem. Maxey, of course, too. They kept Tobias Harris. I think Philly fans would riot if that happened, but somebody occur around against Philly. And we are going to go down 3-2 to them. But now we can see if we can force a game 7 back to Detroit. Are we going to get bounced in round 2 again is the question. So we are going to take the lead early or late here. And we are going to force a game 7 back to Detroit. So can we take them down in game 7 is going to be the question at hand. So we start off with a very good lead in the first quarter. Second, they kind of cut into it a little bit. They are on our tails, but we have the lead right now. Can we keep it? Tie game, 4 minutes left. Let's see if we can beat them here. And it's not looking great. We're down 6 with 1:30 left. So not great. We are going to get bounced here in round 2 once again. Got very extremely close to make it to the conference finals. Would have loved to have seen how would have done against the Hornets, but Philadelphia takes us down. And the Hornets pushed the Thunder to 7. So that gives me some optimism as the Hornets got Jalen Suggs. Good for them. All right. Retirements, Chris Paul. I mean, do we make a big move this offseason? I don't think it's necessary, man. I think the team is exactly where we want it to be. Eventually, it's going to pay off. Jason Kidd, Monty Williams, we're going to leave those the way they are, so we're not going to move on from that. Although Jason Kidd might get poached, I bet. So let's go ahead and see if that happens. It's not even going to give me the option. There it is. So, no, don't. Or do you want to allow it? Do I have to click yes for them to not do it? Because every time I click decline or no, it does not matter. No. Okay, he stays. Maybe I have to click no instead of always. I guess the always doesn't work. I'm going no. No. You're not getting Jason Kidd. He's under contract. No. No. All right, let's keep it going. Gonna ask one more time. I gotcha. No. And then one more time. Yep, that's what I thought. And absolutely not. Boom. I think we kept him, right? Surely we did after all that. So we do keep him for another year, or he actually has 3 years off his contract. So W for that. So just click no. Don't click always decline, because always decline does not work. Just click no every time, I guess. All right, so we don't have a pick in this draft, which is fine by me. Let's go straight to player options, and let's figure out what we got to do here. So I know Duren, I believe, is about to be a free agent. So Asar, Sasser, Buzelis, accepting all of those qualifying offers. Duren, of course, is the important free agent here to worry about. So let's go ahead and go get him back. So assigning him to his contract, bringing him back, no brainer, no questions asked. So get Duren back. All right, we do have some money to sign another good player if we want to. All right, so let's say we need to do anything. So Quentin Grimes, Malik Monk, Sasser, Buzelis. We have a full rotation. I mean, the one position that I wouldn't mind upgrading is the backup center. But Stewart does give us that ability to space the floor if he comes in as that center position. So, and I don't really see that, being replaced in free agency. As much as we could go sign somebody, I'm not just going to sign someone just to sign someone. So I'm going to roll with it again. We are close, man. We are so close. We've had two. Well, wait, did we go to Game 7 with Philly? I don't remember. But no, we went to Game 7 with Philly, but I don't remember if we went to Game 7 with who eliminated us the first or the second season? I can't remember. Or the first season, but everyone's developing. Everyone is up and overall. So I think eventually this team is going to get over the hump, which is why I'm more than confident just running it back once again. They've gotten around 2 years in a row. I think this is the year we make it to the NBA Finals. So Luka Doncic is now on the Golden State Warriors. Very interesting. It'd be funny if he was with Steph, but probably not. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year. W to see that. So once again, another great year. This time, Cade is back on an All-NBA team. Love to see that. So let's go ahead and see if we can go and finally get out of round 2 this year. Of course, get out of round 1 is the first step as always, but let's see if we can make it happen. So 18, 29, 18, 13.5, 13, 11, and 10. So I've pretty much been patient with this roster, just kind of hoping development takes its course. Wow, the 76ers added Stephen Curry with Maxey, Miles Bridges, and Joel Embiid. What did Stephen Curry sign for? That's insane. $13 million. Okay. Well, an 8th-seeded 76ers team with Stephen Curry sounds kind of terrifying, not going to lie. But we are going to beat them. Okay. Wow, I was a little intimidated, but we do beat them. Now we get the Cavs who have Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen. So, of course, this team is going to be broken up this offseason in real life. But I guess in 2K they kept together. Got Aaron Wiggins. They got Day'Ron Sharpe. Pretty solid additions. Hopefully we can beat them. Cleveland is one of those teams that's sometimes tough to beat in 2K, but here goes nothing. Somebody current round against Cleveland, and we are up 3-1, and we are going to close them out and finally get out of round 2, and we get the Hornets. So Minnesota and Utah. Okay, this is a golden opportunity to get to the finals and not worry about the Thunder, so we got to take advantage. So the Hornets lost Suggs, so hopefully that plays to our advantage, but here goes nothing. So game 1, 1-0 starts for us. Game 2, even it up. Game 3, 2-1. Go up 3-1. Come on. Let's go. Beat them at 5. Come on. No sweat. All right, let's simcast game 6 because I don't want to sweat at game 7. So game 6 in Charlotte. Can we beat them here? We start off with a 19-point lead in the first quarter. We win the second quarter. And I think that's all she wrote. We are moving on to the NBA Finals to play the Timberwolves. So, of course, Anthony Edwards probably a 99 overall in this game. So not going to be easy to beat him. Yeah, so outside of Edwards, they have Richardson as their starting point guard. They have Jaden McDaniels still, Karl Towns, Gobert, Naz Reid, Paul Reed, Keelan Ware, Leonard Miller, and Matisse Thybulle. I definitely think this team is beatable. Obviously, playing at 99 Anthony Edwards is intimidating, but I do think we have a chance. So, game 1. Oh, did not mean to simcast. All right, game 1, 1-0. Beat them by 22. Good start. Game 2, they even it up. Can we go up 2-1? Yes, we can. 3-1, please. Yes, we can. And we can close them in 5. Yes, we can. We bring a championship to end this video. Thankfully, did not have to play the Thunder in this one. That really helped out a ton because I bet if we played them, we would have lost. 31 points. 8 assists from K to end this one. What a perfect video. What a perfect ending. Love to see it. So, let me know what you guys thought of my moves in today's video. Are you giving up on Ivy in Detroit? Do you think they should keep him around? Do you think they should continue to stick with them? Let me know. But I think we did a good job solving the shooting problem. and that's all you can really ask for if you're Detroit. So, and of course to be better, because and of course never to get the 5th pick ever again. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. As always, I will see y'all in the next one. 6th overall pick, I believe, is the Hornets, so we got that one tomorrow. Other than that, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.